Hello. This week is a compilation episode because our schedules got just really busy. So I managed to put together a set of never-before-seen footage from the past 10 episodes or so. So, hope you enjoy. Should all work fine. The audio might be a bit funky because I'm not a great editor and all the audio...
I read, I'll go into it a little bit more later, but no, I'll leave it for later. But yeah, I think God's making a comeback. I mean, Jesus is meant to be making a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback.
No,
it's fine.
God never went away, did he? But
Yeah,
people who like God are making a comeback, I think. In
I think
a weird way.
Weirdly, I think it's become more defiant to like God,
To like him,
like
to believe in him,
to believe in him
him.
or something. Yeah, I believe in God. Deal with it. Like it's not. It used to be rebellious to be an atheist, and now it's like everyone's an atheist except the president ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's become fine and accepted for you to not believe in anything.
Well, it's definitely weird for me now when I meet, because I started using another old dating app, Match.com, which is like incredibly Christian.
Yeah.
It's from my whole experience. It's always weird when you see someone's Christian and you're like, I would prefer it if you're a Catholic. Okay.
All right.
I mean, I'm a horrible human being.
If I just tell you I'm a Catholic, I mean, none of it's real anyway.
Can I not just belittle everything that you believe?
Yeah.
And then you belittle everything I believe?
Yeah.
And then we dance off into the sunset or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's love.
Buy a cake, have a day about it.
It's cake day. But yeah, I think you make a comeback, seeing more and more people. Well, there's a bloody... Did you see the Donald Trump's got a faith advisor?
Which
is a weird thing anyway.
Going around.
And yeah, she's like just an insane woman saying everywhere she goes is God's land.
Yeah.
So she was in the White House and therefore that's God's ground.
The thing I found weirder is that anybody was surprised.
That Trump made that decision. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got like, it's just, the thing that I go is I don't understand how anyone can take it seriously anymore. That's the thing I don't understand. So if you're getting angry that politics is a complete joke, how are you angry about it? It's been going on for ages. In my mind, it's been going on forever, but it's so obviously clear now.
Yeah.
Especially in America with Trump and in the UK with Brexit, where you go like, this is just nonsense, right? Oh, no, you need to do this. No, I don't. You're just... Can you stop having an opinion, please?
Yeah.
I've realised that today, is that I just don't like opinion. Couldn't care less. I've been trying to figure out how to
Why are we here?
Stop thinking.
Why are we even here?
Just make
I don't
something
like
surreal.
opinions. Turn the cameras off.
Well, we don't really share our opinions of anything, you know
Don't
what I mean?
we?
Not really.
Last week I shat all over gender reveal parties for like 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah. But,
That's an opinion.
right, so you share your opinion on this podcast, I guess. I'll share a story.
So do you.
What's an opinion? Genuinely, what would be an opinion that I would have shared recently? What, like the Greek mythology thing, the opinion was that I enjoy Greek mythology, I
That's
guess.
a strong opinion.
You know what I mean? It feels like everything's just kind of
Yeah.
like that.
No,
Where it's more just like a creative, surreal, making fun.
I think I like just going off on
Stories.
stuff.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's an emotional podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're delicate flowers.
I went on in an article that an audience member sent in that I'll go over later. I tried to find a different source than the one they sent me for the same article because I wasn't sure whether it was satirical or not.
Oh, right, okay.
So I just wanted to see if there was another source. And Stephen Crowder was one. He wrote a blog post or a news post about it, and reading it was so fucking difficult because it was so opinionated and trying to tell you to do something. And I was just like, I don't care what your opinion is.
Yeah.
Just talk about what's going on and add your own insight into it. But instead of trying to write this whole thing, I don't know, opinion-y.
I think that's the weird thing about kind of just being middle of the road on most things.
Yeah, as in we are.
Is that I'll disagree with an article that someone shares, and then they'll have an idea in their head that like, oh well, I'm sure you'd agree with it if such and such wrote it. And it's like, nah, like if this person expresses their views on it and I agree with them, I don't like it if they're fucking arrogant about it either.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather people not be fucking snobbish and.
Well, that leads into an article that I wasn't going to bring up first, but just to switch on to that. Do you know this guy, Kanye West? Yeah, he's like he's claimed that he's going to legally change. He could change his name legally to Christian genius billionaire Kanye West.
So
I don't understand. I don't care. He said Martin Luther.
You couldn't do that if you were in Sweden or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, wherever that place was.
Was it?
Yeah, I think
Iceland.
it was Sweden.
You could only have Icelandic names. Or something.
I think Sweden had to have a Swedish approval committee.
Yeah.
Something like that for name changing.
Christian is not a Swedish name.
Kanye went on to say Martin Luther King didn't get killed because he had a dream. He had something else he was going to talk about. He talked about black empowerment, economic empowerment. When I did Forbes, I showed them an $890 million receipt and they still didn't say billionaire. Well, yeah, because it's not a billion.
It's not $1 billion,
Kanye.
you fucking moron.
I showed them I've got less than £1 billion, and they didn't say that I had more than £1 billion. Yeah, mug. They don't want us to know that we can buy land. They don't want us to have the 100% ownership that I have at Yeezy. So it's a big conspiracy theory that whoever Forbes won't promote Kanye West as a billionaire, and it's not because he hasn't got less than $1 billion. It's because they don't want to know that he can afford to buy land, something like that. He continued, when people say it's crass to call yourself a billionaire, I say I might legally change my name to Christian genius billionaire Kanye West. What are you doing? You can't call yourself handsome. Oh yeah, what if I changed my name to handsome? Okay. Feels like a weird road to go down to prove your point. But if you change your name, then you win the argument. Just sit over. He said he might only do it for a year until you all understand exactly what it is.
Well, yeah.
It will be on the license plate.
He can't do it for that long because he'll start releasing records and no one will know who they're buying. Who the fuck is this guy?
How are you going to fit Christian genius billionaire Kanye West on a license plate?
Yeah. Wrap around his whole car.
CGBKW.
Yeah.
Okay, you've won the argument.
Kanye used to be one of those guys where for irrational reasons he made music that I wasn't keen on, so I hated him. That kind of childish thing. Yeah. Like, oh, not this fucking arsehole again.
Yeah.
And then in later years, just with all the stupid stuff that he did, I just found him really funny. And now I just kind of feel like we're all picking on a mentally ill guy.
Well, I think it might be like you might be one of those really hormoned up teachers that we were talking about earlier. Where if you just hang around crazy people, I think you just become crazy. Yeah,
and Kanye West fans are crazy.
Yeah, and didn't he marry into the Kardashians?
Oh yeah,
and they all seem out of their minds.
Yeah.
And it just seems crazy.
Part of me is like there must be. Like I watched an interview with Paris Hilton. It's on YouTube, I think, on one of these late night talk shows, and she doesn't come across as like Valley Girl or stupid or anything. Like she comes across as very kind of savvy. Like she knows what the fuck she's doing, as far as how to maintain her fans and how to maintain her wealth and everything like that. She seems very smart. Part of me is like maybe that's the same with Kim. Like, I don't think you can hold and maintain that much wealth by investing for such a long period of time without having something about you.
Well, are you a fan of any celebrity that doesn't put out creative material like music or TV or film? I can't, because she's a reality star, right? Or she's a celebrity.
That's why I can't really get along with them, because it's like, what do you do? Well, you're a brand.
But like, how does a fan of Paris Hilton jump into their fandomness? Like, just watch her reality TV shows and read about her in high street magazines?
She's just tabloid fodder. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I had a thought recently that I wanted to work on, because the Kardashians, they do a Real Housewives of fucking hell, whatever.
What is it?
Place? LA, Orange County.
Not Catching Up with the Kardashians.
Keeping Up with the
Kardashians.
Oh, is that their show?
Yeah.
Well, there's this whole in case you didn't know, Real Housewives of different areas.
Everywhere, and it's in the UK now.
Yeah, and it's just the same reality show kind of
shit.
bollocks, right?
It's awful.
But in one of them, I think it was the reality show, the Beverly Hills one,
Yeah.
one of the stars, one of the women on it, her husband hung himself.
Oh.
The show carried on and just like tried to keep her going. I haven't watched it. I remember seeing, I was watching it with mum and she said, he hung himself. I was like, just goes to show just how much we don't care about mental health in any way.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, he killed himself. Yeah, but just keep rolling. We need to film her understanding her husband's suicide.
That's fucking nuts.
And then that ties in with another thing about Love Island that I still find that so funny is that 2 people killed themselves after going on that show.
Yeah.
And people are still applying for it. It's not
Yeah.
funny that they killed themselves on the show.
No.
It's tragic. I can understand that. But the fact that it's still going on and they're purposely making it more and more
And they had some
emotionally
statement that
destructive.
was like, oh, well, we look out for the mental health of it. Like, well, you don't do it that well. Like,
They've got a kitchen next to a swimming pool. They keep their toasters next to a water source filled with people who are stereotypically suicidal. And they're filming it. Just like, one day, one of them's going to grab that toaster and fucking dive.
take out everybody.
Just
massacre on Love Island today.
And it's the show's all about just emotionally annihilating emotionally vulnerable people.
Yeah.
That's the whole premise of the show. Fall in love, get emotionally intimate with somebody for the purposes of money, and then those be like, right, musical chairs, just change your partner. Like, but I was emotionally... No, it's over.
Yeah.
It's being told by the show.
Yeah. Like,
You need to do this contest. And then, let's just make them sleep in beds
the
together.
thing, like, people don't work like that.
No, it's designed to fuck with people's heads,
Well, it's-
and they're also emotionally vulnerable. That's why I'm assuming that's why they've gone on national television to try and look for some kind of approval.
Yeah.
As much as I could say it could be for a laugh, like when I was at uni, I still think it would be a laugh to go on I was going to say Ricky Lake, that shows how old I am, but Jeremy Kyle, well, that's gone. What's an
Yeah.
English show? To be in a TV audience and just ask a stupid question.
I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if there is one.
No,
Good Morning Britain.
we got rid of them all. No, there's no audience on that. I don't
is there
think. I think it's just the crew.
Yeah. But yeah, but for a laugh, it'd be like, oh, it's kind of a weird way to spend your time for fun. But that's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether going to an island in Greece or whatever for 2 or 3 weeks, I'd feel too much like Sisyphus. There's a reference.
Yeah.
We might have edited out by now. But yeah, it just seems like, nobody cares about people committing suicide because they love it when they're going to have more chance of emotionally destroying somebody.
Yeah,
And it's the same with Real Housewives. They're like, just keep going, let them bitch about that widow.
I remember, when Big Brother was in its death throes. They had they had a series where they said they'd employed either an architect or an interior designer with an education in psychology to make the house architecturally as volatile as possible. With the colours and the feelings of the room and
so you
everything
couldn't
like
relax.
that. So you couldn't relax and it encouraged hostility, and it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're shutting people in that house for 3 months.
The thing, people just don't care.
Yeah.
They want to watch somebody crumble.
It's
what they want.
It's Black Mirror shit, really. It
Yeah.
feels like it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Suicide's always a funny one. I don't like the male anti-suicide campaign. I don't like the because the term "man up" has been adopted as don't stop telling men to man up because suicide's really high. Completely agree with the message.
Yeah.
But it's been simplified down to something so small.
Yeah.
You go I don't think it's people saying, man up and ignore your feelings. I don't think that's what I don't think that's why suicide is so high. Yeah, emotional embarrassment and not wanting to discuss openly about your emotions. Yeah, it's a negative thing. You should be open as possible. But it's there are times where you have to grow up.
Yeah.
You have to be an adult. You have to take on the burdens of others before yourself. And that's all that manning up, in my experience, has been. Is you need to forget about your needs right now, and you need to deal with a situation that's in front of everybody,
Yeah.
then later on, you can deal with yourself.
Yeah, it's the weird thing. Like they ban these little things, and I understand that that they frown on them or get rid of them to discourage you from saying things, because they believe that they're signifiers of a wider problem. Like the whole man up thing. Like it's not because man up is offensive, it's because of this philosophy that it's a signifier to.
And it's from like the 50s, right? When you'd have like a little boy crying because he scraped his knee, and some old Walker Pie would just be like, you need to man up and don't cry. Big boys don't cry.
And I understand that, but if you're going to do that, then at least try and fix the wider problem.
That's the thing, it's about the meaning of man up.
All you do, even though you say that that's not the point, is just take that phrase away. Yeah. And then you don't do anything else, as though you fix the problem.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's people... I haven't figured out a way to frame it for this podcast, but I'm exploring the idea that I mentioned briefly before about there being usually at least two contexts for the same argument. What we were saying about a hate crime, you go in one context, it makes sense that it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist within one context, but it does exist in another. I think people take a problem and they assign only one context to it. Instead of being like, no. The term man up, you can have that in many different contexts and it'll have many different meanings.
Yeah.
But people go, no, it has this meaning. And you go, no, it doesn't. It's fine.
Yeah.
You see, there's been a whole load of stuff about people just assigning like a typically internet famous meme with... That's how everyone in the world is communicated. What the OK white power symbol.
Oh, that started on 4chan, for goodness sake.
But the whole ridiculousness of it is you go, well, it's on the internet, right? And they go, they're in Hong Kong, they're in China, they're in Korea, and someone does it. And they're like, oh, he's doing the white power symbol. It's like, no, white power is very much an American issue. It's a UK issue as well, but famously it's an American issue. And you go, I don't think this kid in Korea who's doing it, there's another context for that symbol.
Yeah.
And it's a kid, dead leg joke or whatever it is in different schools. So it's just got many different contexts.
Yeah.
And so, I think people say man up. Oh, if you say man up, then it's with this context. And you're like, no, there's like thousands. Yeah. Just you need to discover what it is.
And besides, you have experience of being like over on that side of the world and people being openly racist in the street. Like to you, don't you?
Oh, yeah, Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very racist.
It's a different culture, and it's just
I
like...
didn't care. I wasn't affected by it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't violent, but it was very much like, look, if it was done in the UK, that person would be heavily judged. Pointing, laughing, poking, pushing in the streets.
Yeah. But
admittedly, I was falling asleep and screaming.
Dude, it's over there. Not only does it not matter to you at all, you're just being ridiculous, but... They don't care what you think.
They don't see the world through your eyes.
Yeah.
And it's like, that means there's multiple contexts for everything. And I think every single disagreement, you just have to find out what context each person is coming from, and you try and understand their point of view. And you go, that's why I think I'd be a bad interviewer about something controversial, like the anti-Semite that I want to chat to.
Still, with this,
I think 4 weeks running now I've mentioned it. I need to find this anti-Semite. There's some magical person somewhere who's just all Semites, right? But like, if I was to interview that person, like, I just want to understand. I just want to see what they would do and then question it. That's all. I'd like to see what their context is for Semites, and it's just like. Is somebody a Semite? Semite sounds aggressive.
Yes, I don't know the root of that word.
Yeah.
I don't know why Jewish became Semite.
Yeah. But yeah, it's to figure out what their thing is and not to have... I've got no opinion on it. I just find it funny and I want to know more. That's all it is. There's no opinion. I don't approve or disapprove. I mean, I disapprove of hate crimes that either exist or don't exist, depending on the context. But if you have anger in your heart and it's in here, as long as you deal with it in your own way, in your own sphere,
that doesn't affect anyone else,
go for it.
Yeah.
If what would be what could you do that couldn't affect anybody? If you could just imagine violence, and it didn't manifest in any way, that's probably good. I mean, I'd say you can like punch the grass. That's probably anti-climate change.
So I'm sure a lot of people have experience of like their grandparents who, in front of them, would be openly like racist about things, or like racist might not be the right word. Culturally unaware, that kind of thing.
They were unaware about how much culture changed.
Yeah,
that you couldn't say.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're going around But I remember at some point hearing one of my grandparents refer to a black guy as a spade.
Yeah,
and like. I don't know. I don't know
how that came. What that term means.
I don't know where it came from. I don't really know what it refers to. But I know that like back in whenever it was, like whenever it was in the 20th century, like that used to be like a common thing.
Well, there was a word.
But that doesn't mean that she's going around in the street like abusing black
burning
people.
stuff. Yeah,
like
do you remember the term "wop"? That was a racial slur, and I believe it was aimed at Italians and I think some
I only
Asian
know
groups.
that because of Full Metal Jacket.
Really? No, I saw it lots in jokes. Oh yeah, or greasers. Yeah, that speech. But yeah, it's. I think it originated with it was immigrants without papers.
Okay.
So without papers, and you were just talking about illegal immigrants, people who snuck over there, which is funny because America is that's the whole premise of it, isn't it? I don't know. But so they took a term that was standardly used, and then they made it into something that it did culturally. It was the standard classification of a group of people.
Yeah,
it was widely used by everybody.
They gave
they
the
had no
phrase
papers.
significance via discrimination.
Same as the white power symbol.
Yeah.
It was a joke. It got adopted. Now socially, it's understood to be this.
What, the OK thing?
Yeah.
It's never been adopted.
Yes, it has.
By
white supremacists.
Really?
Yeah.
The OK sign.
Yeah. Well, it's been classified as a hate symbol now.
Oh yeah, it has.
And white supremacists have been found to be using it. But you would, if the world went to you and said, all white supremacists use this because it represents white power without saying white power, white supremacists would love that.
Yeah.
They'd be like, brilliant. We could do that all the time now.
I'm not sure.
Not to be secret. For the joke.
I haven't seen anything about any legitimate like white power people using it. That doesn't mean there isn't.
But then
just
we
means
don't know
seen
many
it.
white power people, do we?
Well, I
it
mean,
would be like imagery on the internet and stuff.
Yeah, via articles and stuff. Like I've read plenty.
It's nonsense. Like it's all silly.
Yeah.
But I can understand why they would adopt it.
Yeah.
They'd just be like, this is hilarious. Now we've got someone's just given us a brand new secret handshake.
I don't care. I don't like. I use the OK sign emoji, and I'm going to keep using it because people know what it fucking means.
Oh, I didn't realize it was an OK thing. I thought it was a grabbing something.
That was the
Like a
whole
rabbit.
joke. Like they were reappropriating the OK sign.
The emoji.
Yeah.
Oh, the OK sign, yeah, as in like if you're doing it in real life. But
Yeah.
I thought the emoji one wasn't in it. I thought it was like a rabbit or like grabbing something. You know, when you're a kid, you do a rabbit and you do that.
Sure.
It's a deeply tragic childhood. Anyway, back to my rabbit. My hand was a rabbit. Anyway, back to Kanye West.
Oh God.
Very lastly from him, he said he didn't like it when people started laughing at him when he started making this speech. He said, "When I run for president in 2024," loads of people laughed. He said, "What are you all laughing at? We would create so many jobs. I'm not going to run. I'm going to walk. When you see headlines saying Kanye's crazy, 1 in 3 African Americans are in jail, and all the celebrities are in jail also because they can't say nothing. They got no opinion. They're so scared." I've read that 10 times.
Yeah.
Still have no idea what you're saying.
Are a third of Black Americans in jail?
I've no idea. I'd be
That
surprised.
can't be true.
I'd be surprised, but it could be true. It's not out the realms of possibility. Could be true. It could make sense that a third of a family dynamic, one of them could be sent to prison. I guess.
Of every black family.
Maybe.
Well, no, because it won't work like that, will it? It'll depend on sort of class and all of that stuff.
Probably.
Like,
But the rest of that, I'm not running, I'm walking. Wow.
okay.
Okay, is that a humble brag?
Movie idea, Forrest Gump 2, but instead it's like the long winding story of how Forrest Whitaker got that fucked up eye.
I am a mermaid.
Aquarius?
Virgo.
Virgo's a mermaid. I thought it was a
Apparently.
pot. Pot's Aquarius. Aquarius a pot of water.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Could have been like a sea monster or something cool. You're just a cup.
Yeah, you're just a clay shit of the earth, really.
Yeah.
Filled with piss. Have you seen... I mentioned it a while ago, but the second season came out on Boxing Day, and it is still very good. Have you watched You?
No?
Yeah, very good. Netflix series.
Okay.
I think it was originally something else, and then Netflix brought it in, but it's very good. And I wasn't sure about it at first, but it's basically a modern-day Dexter show.
Okay.
Kind of feel dark, humoury, about a stalker.
Yeah.
But it's really well done.
Right.
And it's very much your sense of humour.
Okay.
I mentioned it, but I did mention it before for series 1, but series 2 came out, and I think it was like, where can you go from series 1? It's like, oh, you can go here, and this is really good. It's just a very good series. I can't remember why horoscopes brought that up, but yeah, you should watch. You should watch You.
Zodiac Killer.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. This keeps on growing on me a little bit more.
Yeah,
and more.
I'm trying to pull my wife into that because I haven't started watching it yet. But we tend to watch like so little stuff that like we kind of have to watch together. If that makes sense.
I hated that so much.
Well,
Being in a relationship with somebody like, hey, it's out, and I'm gonna you can't watch it because I've got to wait for you. All right. Well, now there's this whole energy around it. And I can enjoy it. I enjoy watching things with people. I think it's because I've rewatched so many things with people. I'll be like, "Have you seen this?" No, dude. Let's sit down and watch.
Yeah, like we don't have a problem watching stuff on our own, but there's so little time anyway. Like that we'd rather spend it together, both watching something than all right. Well, I'll go upstairs on my own and watch this, and you stay down here on your own and watch this. You know what I mean?
I'm on all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking to have something
Yeah.
big going on. Like I've got a mate who's watching. He was watching The Mandalorian, but he couldn't watch it without his wife because his wife loved Baby Yoda. And it was like
That's a shit reason to watch that show.
Well, there was the reason for it. I think was to try and get more audience and that kind of thing. And it's still a good show. Apart from the last episode, I was like, the fuck. But just felt like it was like finale. It was like, no, what? This was so good up until this point, and now it's just really shit. Let's. What's the moral? Yeah, you've been saved while trying to save others.
Yeah,
that's your call. No, shut up. This is terrible. This is awful. But the rest of the series is really good. But yeah, like I think I remember I was a big fan of Dexter when it was coming out, and I was in a relationship. I think during the final season, and I would just. It's probably like a dickhead move, but I would I'm working and I'll watch this and then we'll watch it later.
Yeah.
And
well, that is an option.
I still enjoy to watch it with them.
Watching stuff on my own and then pretending that I haven't and watching it again. Yeah. But then it feels like a waste of time for me.
Oh no, but I'll do it with something I enjoy. I'll enjoy myself more than once.
It's so weird. I don't limit it. There's so little stuff that I watch more than once. Like particularly like hour-long shows. I think the only one where
there's so many few things that you watch once.
Well, yeah. I think the only thing I've seen more than once is probably like House.
Yeah,
I've seen a bunch of those more than once. But yeah, no.
For me, it's just like radio. Like put something on. I've rewatched loads of stuff, and it's usually just complete background stuff.
Yeah,
I'm going to clean the house.
Yeah,
I'll put this on in the background.
Sitcoms for some reason I'll watch more than once, but the hour-long dramas and stuff.
Like what kind of sitcoms?
So. Any of the Matt Groening stuff, anything.
That's a sitcom.
The first few seasons of Family Guy I've probably seen 3 or 4 times. Bunch of American Dad, like the animated stuff, like it's just really digestible. It's just so that's kind of a background thing. It's anything that they used to show in like blocks on like BBC 3 or Channel 4, where they'd be like, now it's 11 o'clock. We're going to play 5 episodes of this. Like like that kind of. Programming just made me watch a bunch of stuff over and over again, I think. Yeah,
that's fair enough. I do that, but just with everything, films and television, stuff like that. Just whenever I've got some downtime. Yeah. And that downtime is usually just spent doing something else. Yeah. Whilst watching Game of Thrones on 4 different screens, 4 different episodes. I hate this show so much. I want it to be over 4 times quicker.
I started watching The Witcher a few days ago.
Yeah?
Have you
What
caught
do you
any of
think?
that yet?
I started watching the first episode,
I
and I just kind of felt like, oh god.
I've got no reference point because I never played the games or
Same.
anything. So like,
Same.
none of it really means anything to me.
Yeah.
But as like me and Vix quite liked Game of Thrones up until the last season, the last couple of second to last was alright, but the last season was just this is really rushed. But but to be fair, I didn't have the problem that a lot of people had with the Game of Thrones show. It's just like I don't mind the conclusions. It's just rushed.
Yeah, well, it was just after watching The Last Kingdom, which I rewatched again yesterday, 3 seasons. It's a really good show. After watching The Last Kingdom and been like, this is what is entirely missing from Game of Thrones, and The Last Kingdom is just like just a story. Whereas Game of Thrones, Game of Thrones was like a universe.
Yeah.
And this was like a story within a universe, but the story was good, and it was just like, oh yes, I like this.
There's a guy I know who's like, I've only watched one episode and it's already completely so much better than Game of Thrones. I was like,
Was that Last Kingdom?
no, The Witcher.
Oh, The Witcher.
And like, I was
It'd be weird to
immediately
compare
like,
the two.
you watched an hour of this and you've decided that it was better than 8 years of this. Like, I don't know how you're making these comparisons.
I don't know. I need to give. I've got Witcher to rewatch again soon. But
Have you finished it?
No. Sorry, the first episode. I think Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Or like Christmas Eve. I sat down to try and watch one of them, and there was other stuff going on.
Watch the first two.
And I was a bit
and
like, I'm not sure.
It's
I
definitely
need to
picking
give it
up,
a
but
proper
again,
go.
it depends on your interest in that kind of thing. If you like sort of period medieval stuff that's grounded in reality, then you're not going to like it. But
For me, it's just characters. I think that's all it comes down to with anything for me. And I think like the Witcher character seemed very forced but I haven't watched much of it. I just didn't really get much of it. And it was
at the minute, he seems somewhat inaccessible. Like, as in, like, there's not really a lot of character to him. He's just stoic front guy.
Yeah.
Like that's him. But that might change. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably the whole thing.
Yeah.
Then it was just like, oh, go into the, castle of wizards. It was like, okay.
Yeah.
Characters anyway. No, but look, there's naked women. Okay.
Yeah.
It's, characters and characters.
Yeah.
I should give it a go.
There was a bit fan servicey.
But you definitely, I'd watch you before you watch that.
You.
That's what I would do.
Cool.
Just watch one or 2 episodes of it, and then you'll know. It's very much, it's very much your comedy.
Okay.
It's very much your mental illness as well, I think.
I hadn't heard of it at all. I would have thought it would have
Not
been
at all?
recommended to me.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's been out for nearly a year.
Yeah.
And the first season was good. Second
Like,
season was still good.
Netflix is usually pretty good at that kind of stuff. Like, hey, you're an internalized psychopath. Like, you might enjoy this.
But do you share your Netflix account with anybody else?
Yes and no. We've all got our own profiles, so it shouldn't really make any difference.
Yeah, it shouldn't make a difference.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just like, he's married, don't give him.
Don't give him any ideas.
He's already clingy enough to get married. Mate, it's gonna get too far. But yeah, anyway, TV talk.
Film idea, Firth. It's Colin Firth on trial for first-degree murder while he was in character for the King's Speech. I think we're good.
In other news, quickfire news.
Yeah.
A Rugby World Cup player has said that the man he rescued from a burning building ran away and didn't say thanks.
Bastard.
There's a couple of ways that I take this. Number one, are you only saving people if they're grateful? I'd go, that's not the point he's trying to make. Obviously, he did it before he said please.
Yeah.
He went over and pulled it from a burning building.
Yeah.
But if someone pulls you from a burning building, do you run away from that person? They've come to get me away from the fire.
Yeah, but if you've been pulled from a burning building, isn't it reasonable that you might just be in shock and
yeah, maybe
flee?
Yeah,
like you've been trying to flee the whole time the place has been on fire, and you
still
couldn't
in run mode.
So now you can, and you just go.
Yeah, I think in this case, I can't confirm this. Is going from memory. I think he started the fire.
Oh.
The victim, the guy they say saved, not the rugby player.
Not the rugby player. I started this fire in his house and I pulled him from the fire and you didn't even say thank you.
Some grateful son of a bitch.
He ran away from me. Yeah, maybe because you set his house on fire.
But yeah, I think this guy is suspected of setting fire to the house. So he set fire to it. Got trapped. Got rescued. Ran away.
This arsonist didn't even say thank you.
But fair enough. The quote is, "Then the prick ran off. Didn't even say thanks." Fucking arsonist. Got an idea for a TV remake. It's called Best Friends. And it's just friends reenacted with really unwilling dogs.
It's good. This year is going to be so good.
Oh yeah,
because he's going to get in again, and they're all just going to they're all just going to lose their minds.
That's what I meant.
I cannot wait.
That's what I meant about our general election. It's that whole idea of just people constantly saying, "The world's going to end. The world's going to end," and then it doesn't. And they're like,
and they're disappointed.
Yeah,
like the economy in America is doing really well now, and there's just nothing to really say to it.
Yeah, and it's just I don't care about it at all. But people are so invested.
Yeah,
and it's just like they're so invested in the fact that they have the secret and they know the truth, and it's just seeing people have been trying to be forced to accept that they don't know the truth. Whatever that truth may be, whether that truth is that if you set your house on fire, you won't have a house for very long.
Yeah.
Someone going like, no, I'm pretty sure if I set fire to this house, it will be fine.
It's just strange. Okay. It's like, I don't really know. I'm definitely no expert on politics. I don't really care about anyone involved in politics anymore. I used to be quite vested for a small period of time. Like I definitely have my own views and my own leanings and what I think is right and what I think is wrong, as I think everyone does. But like, I mean, like Bill, I think Bill Maher. He when Trump got in, he was like, I hope the country fails. It's like, why? Like, why not hope, even though you don't like the guy, that it succeeds, because that's better for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Like, why do you want it to fail to prove that you were right? Is it more important that you were right or that everyone else is better off?
How many people do you want to die in order to make you feel good?
Yeah,
about
it's such a strange. But so many people have that attitude, and it's strange. And where they can't be proved right, they'll just lie about it and say that things are bad. Yeah, it's just so weird.
Yeah, again, it's just people being in that box. Just being like, I'm right, the whole world's crazy, I'm going to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. But you understand that this is very, very irrelevant. I still don't understand. I mean, I was speaking to somebody about political leaders and been like, I don't think that the world was one way when David Cameron was Prime Minister, and then the world was a totally different way when Theresa May was Prime Minister, and now the world is a completely different way. Yeah. It's like, I feel like it's all been the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, people just get it in their own heads that it's the idea that they're right and they know the truth. Yeah. It's like, just accept that there is no truth.
Again, like I approach that from a perspective of like, I was definitely that way at some point. And in some respects, I probably still am, because I think you have to have belief in your own convictions, but it's also trying to find a balance where you're willing to bend that and accept that there's probably a bunch of stuff you actively believe that you're wrong about.
But also just that the only reason that people invest in politics is because people are told to. This is the way that you change things. This is how you do stuff. You vote for that. You go like, you can believe in something and adopt it yourself. Yeah. You don't have to vote for a party that might select somebody who might believe in half of what he's saying. Yeah. You go like, if you believe in climate change, you can go out and improve the climate if you would like. I don't have the time. Okay, well then do what you can. Recycle or... get solar panels or something like that. You're contributing towards something. Yeah. You don't have to believe in a liar in order to do so.
I mean, think about how long it takes for you to make a change in your own life. Like, there's things that we've been trying to change in our lives that we've been actively talking about for 5 years. How long does it take to make an effective change in your life? Now try and make an effective change in the lives of 60 million people. Like, you can do things that will hopefully, in theory, help people, but ultimately you have to rely on people being able to do things for themselves.
Yeah, or just don't get involved with it and just deal with it yourself.
I think it was Obama that said ultimately your goal as a president is to steer the ship 1 degree to the left or 1 degree to the right, and hope that that in the future those changes will have made a difference.
Yeah.
But in your time in office over a period of 10 years, and 10 years to us feels like a long time, but in the grand scheme, it's nothing.
Well, it's the same thing as internet.
You can't really expect to make a lot of change.
Yeah. And the thing is, the party's probably, I'd have no proof of this, but I'd imagine because there hasn't been any real significant change in a lot of things, ever, I'll throw that statement in, that all parties basically agree on like 90% of stuff. Don't murder people. You know, pay people their bills, pay people their money, there's a minimum wage. Do this, do that. Everyone kind of agrees. Yeah. Some people say a living wage, more money. Some people say more tax breaks for small businesses. And it's just kind of like, it's a reshuffling, but it's like a very small reshuffling.
Yeah.
And as a society, it's just slightly changing a little bit because everyone kind of
it's like
agrees.
Everyone kind of has the same goals. You just have a different idea of how to get to them.
Yeah, and the same basic standards of everything. I mean, America's insane.
Yeah.
But in Britain, we have like, abortion is fine. Don't have guns.
Yeah.
Go to school. All that kind of stuff. We've got that kind of cemented as like, now it's just the little things. And those little things will affect people involved with them greatly. But you go like 90% of stuff everyone agrees on. We're only talking about 10% here.
Yeah.
I mean, don't put incredibly flammable, was it cladding inside buildings? Just don't do that. And people are like, no, you should. It's like, well, no, you shouldn't. I think everyone agrees that you shouldn't. Now we're saying, why did you do it? Oh, I didn't do it. And it becomes a silly argument. But at least everyone agrees, don't make houses really flammable.
Yeah.
I think nobody disagrees with that. They just try to make excuses to why they made that mistake.
Yeah.
So it's just a little thing. So I don't understand how everyone could be 100% angry when you only disagree with 10%. And it's just people, it's just mental.
Yeah.
But not crazy, but it's the mental process, I think, of people. We're on this side, you're on that side. We hate everything about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you're a moderate now, which is like you're in the middle and you'll take some policies, you'll leave some policies and whatever, you seem to be more demonized than anybody.
Kind of not so much a new TV show, but just an adaptation of one. Just Doctor Who, and it's just like a man with dementia just wandering around talking to like wheelie bins thinking that they're invading Earth or something. I don't know.
In other news, spoiler alert, well, I should have said this a couple of days ago, wild hogs have killed a woman in an attack outside Texas home.
Yeah.
But I sent to you by accident.
Yeah, I wondered why you'd sent it, but I'd read it anyway. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But it's basically, the way I get all these articles is on Facebook, I'll find them and send them to myself.
Yeah, and you sent it to me instead.
Yeah, the first time in
it's like, oh, Steve will like
3
this.
years.
That's a quick one of those. Pig
Yeah, she was found dead outside her home in rural South Texas after being killed by wild hogs. The autopsy determined, and this is an official term, that Rollins died of blood loss resulting from feral hog assault. Where were these people when I needed my prescription?
Yeah.
They're very specific.
Yeah.
About their medical statements. Death by pigs. Oh, that's good.
But specifically, what kind of death by pigs? Feral pigs.
Hogs, if you will.
Assault.
She also says that I'm assuming the autopsy doctor said, there's no doubt in my mind that it was multiple animals. We can tell that because there's different size of bites. Very professional.
Yeah.
Very good. Very logical. Makes sense. Just so you know, there were multiple of these feral hogs bleeding your mother to death. Apparently the dogs thought to run off the hogs. So they think the hogs got scared by dogs. Not quickly enough. There were several bites. They said that this is a very rare incident. From just what little research we have found, there's less than 6 of these that have been reported in the nation.
Well, most of the time, they just eat all of you.
This Ted Nugent comes along.
Yeah.
This deals with the situation. Now they found coke in Rome or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember where it was. But the pig community, they're activating.
Yeah.
They found the coke. They've learned Ted Nugent, and now they're biting several people in different places at different sizes.
What What is that theory? I can't remember what it is, but it's when you hear about something, you suddenly start seeing it everywhere. We got it with bees. We've now got it with pigs. Like, there's just stuff coming out of everywhere. But these stories must have always been about.
Advert, isn't it? Like, the old adage is that I never knew I needed a mattress. I never saw any mattress adverts until I needed a mattress. But have you heard the one about people are confused about... They think their phones are listening to them. So when they talk about an idea... Suddenly they'll get ads for that
comes
idea.
Up, as opposed to, oh, it was there before, but you just didn't register it.
And, like, I think I saw some talks about it saying, like, you know... The ads are designed to figure out what it is you want, to predict what you might buy. And so when you start searching for something that you might buy, that means that that's effective. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's the cause or effect. It means that around this time of year, this film's come out.
Yeah.
He's watched this TV series, so he might be interested in this. Oh, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Or the government
I get
could
those
be
things
controlling
all
you.
the time, and it does get to the point where it's like you think people are listening to you.
Yeah.
But
I think that's the
it could
default,
just be that the ad companies have just gotten very, very good.
Yeah. Well, what was that? I can't remember who that chap was who emailed us in our spam folders telling us they'd been one of those scams that was like, send me £2,000 because I've got video footage of you masturbating to some
I still get
disturbing
those.
stuff.
Yeah.
I don't check my spam folder that often, but I'm sure there's loads more in there. And the language they use is like, oh, we've been listening to your keyboard to work out the password for your sites. It's like, yeah, good luck. Yeah, don't get me wrong. And I've discussed it at length with people who've been adamant that that's definitely how they could do it. And you go, yeah, sure, you could definitely record someone's keyboard typings and try and figure out a password from that. Or you could just install an app on their computer that does it for you.
Most
so
of
like,
it...
oh, it's going to be this more elaborate thing where it's like this incredible thing. The government's listening to you and this is what's happening and that's what's something like, yeah, but that takes a lot of effort and a lot of work, and maybe it would be doable and maybe people will go to those lengths, but you can violate your privacy so much easier. Why wouldn't they just do it that way?
Yeah.
You go, oh no, because it was not intricate, but complex and not paranoid, but conspiratorial. That's the word. They're thinking like it's a big system that's working against you. It's like it's probably some guy, just trying to fuck with somebody.
Yeah.
I got chased by a van once when I was a kid. Me and a mate. I keeps on popping into my head every now and then. When I was 17, I must have been 17 because I was driving. We were driving in kind of outskirts of London, and at late night we just dropped his girlfriend off at her house and we're driving back to mine. And this white van just like started in a very murder film way following us around. I'd start indicating left and then turn right, and he'd violently swerve to the right. Oh. And at the time we were like, it's pretty fucked up, right? And you go, as you grow up, like you go, no, it's just some guy having a laugh. It's just these kids think I'm going to murder him. Have you got any blood? I'd love to throw blood out the window. It's just some guy just having a laugh. I reckon that's the majority of everything. Or some guy just fucking around. Not even for enjoyment or laughter. Just being like, I'm just going to be a dick today. I'm just going to freak you the fuck out. Yeah. I think it's probably the same thing that happens with those.
Sure.
Fucking with people.
Yeah.
I was going to make a segment. Maybe I'll do one in the edit.
All right.
Nope. I did react correctly, or maybe as friendshiply, to your evil whale segment.
Okay.
Do you remember? And there's a bit that has tickled me for a while that I think needs to be addressed.
Oh, right.
And it's just at the time I was trying. I don't know. I think my reaction just wasn't that great.
Okay.
But there's this thing that keeps on coming back into my head of just like I think the whale is brought into the torture room and he just goes, "What the fuck is that?" And then just every now and then it pops into my head and that makes me laugh. So that was better than I gave you original credit for.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no.
Felt like doing something positive.
The fuck was it? Yeah, no. In my head, it was like, so the torture room is separate, And then he
Yeah.
presses this button and unleashes the whale onto the world, and that scream was coming from the crowd outside before they all started screaming.
Oh, I thought it was like just one guy tied to a chair,
That
and then
was
they just wheeling,
like-
wheeling a whale. So yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, thanks very much.
It's okay.
Nope,
2020.
nope.
In other quickfire news, which is only funny because I think of the wording, a woman has died in North Staffordshire house fire after being discovered by a family member. Which, just the wording of it just makes me laugh because it implies that they were playing hide and seek.
Okay.
And then they found her
Found me.
and she burst into flames. Burst into a house fire.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, they said they don't know the cause of the blaze and an investigation is underway. Well, she obviously spontaneously combusted from being surprised from being discovered in hide and seek. The one where Gunther just mauled everybody and had to be put down in the street.
Steve's collection of useless meanderings. Scum.
Not prepared for this. I didn't know that was your last one. Now everything's dying.
I said lastly from me.
Yeah, I don't listen.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
It's all right. Okay, for $255,500, you can buy a package that lets you celebrate New Year's Eve in Sydney from 8 p.m. till 2 a.m. and then fly on a private jet that arrives in Los Angeles at 8:30 p.m. on the 31st of December, where you can celebrate New Year's Eve all over again.
Why?
Why would you want to do it twice?
We've said
it's bad enough doing it once.
We've said before that we hate bar crawls.
Yeah.
And that's
That's the
more
worst
of it, right?
one ever.
Like, sure, fly to Sydney, then fly to LA to do something.
£250,000 to be stressed twice.
Stressed. Fireworks.
Yeah.
Do you like a good New Year's?
I'm half and half on it. Sometimes, like, it's nice to go out and do all that stuff, but most of the time, my attitude is just like, it's really overpriced. There's a bunch of people there that I don't know and that I would never want to know. Like, there's the stress of like getting there and getting back. Who's driving? Are we getting taxis? Are there any taxis? Like, all that bollocks. I just can't be asked. I would, for me, it's my happiness as far as like parties and celebrating things has just been, let's go to someone's house and get some drinks and put some food on, and like that's like prime for me now. Like I have enough friends, I know enough people, I don't need to go. I'm not going to talk to anyone new anyway. All we're doing is going somewhere else, so instead of talking to each other all night, we have to yell.
Yeah, going out to nightclubs and stuff is definitely off the cards now. Just a bit, can't be asked.
No.
Not even like want to be. It's not that I don't want to go outside. It is just, well, you can't talk.
Yeah.
Yes, if it's good music, then it's fine. But
Yeah.
it's usually not my taste in music. So it's just like,
But
we're just
people
here now.
still love it, man. Like, people still go out everywhere, still books up. Like, and I don't even think it's a particularly young thing. It's everybody.
Get a babysitter.
Yeah. Like,
Go out and
I'm
celebrate.
celebrating life. It's like, what? So are we. Like, I don't understand what the difference is. Like, are you trying to be in the in crowd? Does the in crowd go out and do things? Like, I think the exception would be, I would go. I would happily spend like a New Year's abroad and go and do what they do. Like, so if we went to, if we were in like in New York for New Year's or something, like, okay, everyone says
Square or whatever.
Times Square is like horrific, it's always packed and everything like that, but I would go and do that.
Yeah. But it's just part of a holiday, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think I'm torn as well because I
But
can't remember.
you were brought up in London. You probably spent countless New Year's Eves in London Central. I've never done that. That just feels like no. I don't. If I lived there, I think I'd be different.
But I'm torn as well because I don't like the argument. I can't remember if you're somewhat part. I don't think you are, but I know a lot of people who are like, what's the point in everybody getting all dolled up for Valentine's Day or doing something special on Valentine's Day? The argument is, well, we celebrate every day. It's like, no, you fucking don't. And even if you do, Great, you like celebrating stuff.
Yeah.
Here's this opportunity to celebrate more. And all it is just you've got another opportunity to creatively express yourself, is how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And most people just go like, no, like, why go out on New Year's? Well, if you like celebrating events and going out and doing stuff, there's more to choose from.
Yeah.
So there's great. But you don't have to. That's the thing. Is that you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But-
no, like with stuff like Valentine's, I'm more of the thing of like, you don't need a card. You don't need all of
Some
this.
people fucking love cards.
I know. I don't get it. I don't buy birthday cards. I just don't do it. I'm like, if I like you, I'll get you a gift. Like, you know what I mean? Like that, and that's fine. I don't understand the need for a card. That became a weird tradition at some point.
I think I'm about 6 months late now, but I was meant to get someone a gift voucher, and that feels too much like a card. And I can't buy it online. It's for a specific shop, so I have to go into the shop. And it's just like, oh, God.
What's the point?
It's just like, I just can't.
Yeah.
It's just so much effort
Yeah.
to do something. It was like, if it was just as easy to give you the money, that would be easier for me. I could just give you money, but then it feels bad.
Yeah, but
So-
we do like Valentine's Day, and like, but it's not in the let's go out and spend loads of money on a meal and put on this like weird romantic facade because we're in public and that's what we're meant to do in public because everybody's sitting around and having a nice quiet meal with a glass of wine and all of that. Like, we'll more often than not, we'll book the night. We'll make sure we've got the night free, and we'll stay at home and get pizza and watch movies and do things that we like to do in order to celebrate our relationship.
Yeah, it's an occasion for spending extra effort on celebrating
Going out
the day.
and buying a crap meal is not involved in that. Like, I think at a certain point you're like, we were just like, we would honestly have a better time at home on our own. So why don't we just do that? Why? There's no reason to lie to each other. Like, that's weird. Like, sometimes it's nice to go out and get dolled up and do all that stuff, but like, not because you've been told to, not because like this day dictates. It's like, but we'll do something. But I don't know.
But there's definitely
fundamentally we're both very cheap people, and we don't like going out and paying 3 times as much for a meal that's going to be half the price tomorrow. Like.
Well, the other screams to me that there are idiots who spend too much money on stupid things.
Yeah,
like weddings. And
our wedding was actually considered quite cheap compared to a lot of people's. You know, the average cost of a wedding in the UK is £25,000.
That's ridiculous.
That's unbelievable.
I don't know what this says about me, but if or when I do get married, I think there's be very few people there. Like, I've got a huge family, all of which are like we got to send all these people and they got to come.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, let's just have like 4 people.
Yeah.
The bride, the groom, my dog.
Yeah, you need
The priest. It's got to be some kind of horrific priest.
You need
though.
witnesses,
Satanic.
and I don't think you could have the dog.
Well, I get people who were in the witness protection program.
He's
Just
a witness
come
to
and
Summit.
Yeah, he saw that thing. Come
Yeah.
and see this thing.
This guy saw Time End. So,
Yeah, I don't care about. Yeah, I think my wedding would be too insane. I'd say insane. It would just be too annoying to people. The same. I just it's not that I like annoying people. It's that it annoys me when people are nice to people. Same thing with kids. Kids come up. Oh, who are you dressed as? The Hulk. You're the Hulk, are you? I can't play that charade of trying to pretend to like somebody.
and yet you're still here. Yeah.
Thinking about tomorrow getting a clipboard and just walking around some city asking for signatures for a petition, but don't really know what petition I'd want to sign. It'd have to be something self-deprecating and yeah, I'm going to get a load of people to sign a petition saying they hate you.
Sorry, scum. The brilliance of bees has been at the forefront of ecological news cycle for... Oh, hold on. Sorry. There you go.
Did you know this thing about bees?
The brilliance of bees has been at the forefront of the ecological news cycle for several years now, and as we've learned more and more about their substitution of modern dance in place of Google Maps, their progressive stance of having an all-female workforce, and the evolutionary emasculation of male bee testicular explosion. But did you know that bees also adhere to a very strict health and safety standard, refusing to build honeycomb in any gap that is between 6 and 9 millimeters in width?
So, more than that.
More than that's fine.
Less than that.
Less than that, it's fine.
In the middle,
But-
it's structurally unsound.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
This just and nobody knows why, but we use it to our advantage. So, like, that's the reason we're able to build hives where you can remove the
okay.
sheet of honeycomb because
There's
you
like
make
an
the
8
gap.
millimeter
Yeah,
gap.
you make the gap. Otherwise, they would wax it all shut, and you wouldn't be able to get the thing out.
Right. Maybe that's
But,
like a doorway to them. If there's a space like that, then that's going to be a cavern to walk down.
Well, I don't know.
Fly
I
down
was thinking.
past
I used to do stuff for a construction company, and they did their thing with gaps was it has to be this small or this big, otherwise you might get fingers trapped in it.
Right.
So maybe it's a certain width, otherwise the bees could get stuck in it. Because it's
don't wanna
like,
get
well,
wedged.
we can definitely get through this gap, and we definitely cannot get through this gap. So like those are fine, but in between where we might try and get stuck and die. No.
And no, please.
Between 6 and 9 millimeters. Maybe that's the width of a bee.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it's still interesting that they've got a unit of measurement in their head.
Yeah, a universal
Like,
unit
no.
of measurement.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's within their instinct to be like, no.
yeah.
Same way that like OCD people, I guess, have got some kind of pattern in their head that they need to always satisfy. I imagine bees have got the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's the stress of building a house. Whatever it is. Fucking bees.
Yeah. Bees are great.
Idea for a TV show. Judge not, lest ye be judged. Gary Judged. A well-respected town judge hands out family advice with the help of his violent racist views. So he's in the supermarket, and there's 2 kids of varying skin colour fighting over like a watermelon or something, and Gary steps in, rolls the melon down the aisle, and pushes the darkest kid into like an unmanned weather balloon directed towards the sun. Big sign, judged! Stuff like he goes to ground zero and looks for people who are wearing burqas, and he just hits them with toy planes. Judged! He stares baffled at a female driving instructor trying to teach another woman how to drive, so he pulls them both out and lights their bras on fire. Judged! Gary Judged!
Native Siberians had a long-standing belief in gigantic 5-ton moles that stood 10 feet tall with huge 2-meter-long incisors. Upon closer inspection, the myth dissipated when they realised that these creatures were actually mammoths. And the only reason they thought they were moles is because whenever they found them, they were underground. It's just an insight into just how dumb we can be.
Yeah.
Like, just when you don't know anything else. It's like, well, it's obviously a mole.
Yeah, it's underground.
Yeah.
I mean, when we die, we become moles. So, we're buried
Yeah, I mean,
underneath
Jeff's a
6
mole
feet.
now.
Yeah, worms, or as we call them, moles. Yeah, it could. You could probably mistake a mammoth in the dark for a giant mole.
But
They weren't even there when they were
always
alive.
dead. Always dead.
They were
They
never
only
alive.
found the remains. But they assumed they never saw them because they were underground.
Oh yes.
Like, so they were alive, but they only ever found the dead ones, which were underground. Moles.
Yeah. Well, they look kind of molish.
They look like fucking elephants.
Yeah, but I mean, so does a mole. Right? Small mole. Big mole, I mean. Whatever.
Maybe they thought they could dig with the tusks or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but in Siberia, it's so cold that burst pipes freeze.
Yeah.
Like, what was that? I can't remember who it was. I think it was... Who's the fucking talky guy who's somewhat of a prick but isn't? You'll know him. You'll know him.
All right.
Speak public... He was a spoken word guy. You listened to him at uni. He was in a punk band, Black Flag.
Oh.
Him.
Oh God.
I can't remember his name.
Henry Rollins.
Henry Rollins. There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah, it's an interesting public speech. His spoken word stuff's been quite good. He's had bouts of bad conversations with good conversationalists.
Yeah.
But they've since been like, no, yeah, he's fine. We just crossed wires. That's all it was. That's all I was addressing with that. But yeah, he said he was on the Vladivostok Express, which is a train that goes through Siberia, I think. And the sewage pipes freeze over the
Oh, and they have to
something.
keep getting out and chipping the shit off them or
Yeah,
something.
on the train, the people on the train,
Yeah.
part of their job is they have to get out and chip away frozen shit
Yeah.
to allow the more flow of shit or something
Yeah.
like that. So in a world where that's your job, and you know that's kind of your day-to-day life. Is
Wish I was an underground giant mole.
I hope that they're underground, because above ground it's not great.
Yeah.
You know, let's at least give them the joy of being underground.
Probably warmer down there.
I think it's quite a cool place to live, though. I like the cold.
Yeah.
I like the cold. Yeah. Well, yeah. We discussed it before. I think I'm much more at home in the cold
Yeah.
than I am in
I
the
used to be.
heat.
I haven't been since I lost weight. Like, I just
I never felt
noticed
that
it a lot
difference.
more. No?
Never. And
I've
I've
found it
fluctuated
massively.
massively.
Yeah.
Not recently, but yeah. Like I'd go from 16 stone to 10 to 16 to 10
Yeah.
to 14 or something was one of my phases. And yeah, I never really noticed the difference. But I had, I was a weird kid. Used to swim in frozen, unheated swimming pools.
Yeah.
And camped a lot. So, and then motorbiking was the big thing. Once you've motorbiked in the cold, you kind of know what cold is.
Yeah.
And you're like, everything above this is fine. Like my hands aren't feeling like they're bleeding.
Yeah.
This is fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, the cold atmosphere has always been quite. I like brisk. Don't mind the hot, but I'm not that motivated in the hot.
I like autumn. Like that autumn, like crisp. It's quite nice.
What's crisp if not cold? I guess like breeze.
Yeah, maybe a
Or like
slight
cold in
breeze
the
where it's-
morning and then it's kind of fine.
Where it's
later on.
cold but sunny. Like that.
Right.
I don't know. That sort of feel.
Yeah.
Plus, if you sent a video round to people and said, like, people I knew and said, look, it's a video of Steve masturbating, do you think they'd open it? And finally, set in the sprawling countryside of Northumberland sits Alnwick, and set inside that are Alnwick Gardens, and inside that, the Poison Garden, home to over 100 species of lethal flora. When designing the garden, Duchess of Northumberland Jane Percy said, if you're building something, especially a visitor attraction, it needs to be something really unique. One of the things I hate in this day and age is the standardisation of everything. I thought, let's try something really different.
Let's try filling it with death.
I thought, this is a way to interest children. Children don't care what aspirin comes from the bark of a tree. What's really interesting to know is how a plant kills you and how that patient dies and what it feels like before you die. This is speaking of children. This past summer, 7 people reportedly fainted from inhaling toxic fumes while walking through the garden. It's a visitor attraction. Like,
But it makes sense.
yeah.
Right? One, kids will find that way more interesting.
Yeah.
So will adults. Everybody will.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's genuine. It's a good way to let people into your passion.
Yeah.
I love death.
I get it.
Here's some death.
But it doesn't. There's something that seems a bit odd about the whole thing. I mean, it's a bit weird that it's a duchess, like, attracting kids to a
No,
garden
Scottish
of.
laird would do this.
It's just attracting kids to a garden of poison.
Well, it's just botany, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like I say, there has to
and
be multiple
parents
places.
being like, "Yeah, go on, go inside. It
Well, I
might
don't
kill
know.
you."
Have you ever gone to Stonehenge?
No, I was told it was very boring.
Yeah, they give you like these little walkie-talkies or whatever to listen to a guided tour by someone who isn't there.
All right.
But like you're basically going to rocks leaning on other rocks, and you've got kids like pushing them and shit like that. And it is just like a weird, like we're just standing in a lay-by.
Yeah.
Like it's just in the middle of these, I think 2 A roads or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just there. So it's kind of like, oh, this is odd. I went there on a whim. I wanted to ride on my motorbike. So I was like, oh, fucking go Stonehenge, why not?
Go do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just went there. I was like, oh, I'll go home then. You go past Legoland. You're like, should have gone to Legoland.
Yeah.
Legoland could have been fun. You been to a theme park recently?
No, not for a long time.
No, I don't think I'd enjoy it anymore.
Yeah.
I'd be a dad if I was there now. Do you know what I mean? It'd be like, oh, can we go on these crazy rides? Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll go on a log flume. I'll always, till the day I die, like a log flume.
Yeah.
But that's
I
about
like
it.
log flumes.
I like mine carts.
Even the rapids. I quite like the rapids.
Yeah, and all
Even
water.
after that woman got horribly killed in it in Australia. But like
all water rides, I'm all for.
the roller coasters feel like once you've been on a few, you get it.
Well, would you remember that Superman ride when we were kids?
Well, it's
Which
in
was
the States or
yeah, and
something.
it was just
just
go really
fires
fast
you up,
and then you come back
fall
down.
back down.
You're
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't give a shit about this ride. I mean, there's a part of like, I've paid for it, so I better use it now.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be like looking forward to going on Nemesis. And Nemesis was an alright ride.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, oh wow, I can't wait to go down that again.
Yeah. I'm
But
more
whereas a log flume, like a log flume.
can't argue with a log flume. I'm more interested in like the Universal Studios thing where you're like walking around experiences. I think that'd be interesting. Maybe that is like quite a dad thing to say. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
just I've done roller coasters. I'm kind of
Same with like clubbing. You know, just your taste change as it becomes more matured.
yeah.
And when I say mature, I don't mean more responsible. I just mean like it's become more refined. You figure out more and more what you like specifically. When you're young, you know you like this genre of something. So you go and experience the entire genre. Say it's adrenaline, right? Oh, I want adrenaline, so I'll go driving and I'll go flying and I'll go doing this. And as you get older, you'd be like, yeah, I kind of like all that, but really dying in a plane crash, that's what I want to do. And that's what you kind of focus on.
Yeah.
But like, it's same with music, same with everything. You'd be like, okay, no, I've just realised I really like this aspect of this particular music.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pursue that. And the point of clubs is to get everyone in. And I think that's the same as theme parks. It's like, we've got everything. Come, bring the whole family.
Yeah.
But like, there's a little bit of it that I'd like. So I think that's all I mean. You become more dignified.
Yeah.
But that would make sense to have like a garden of death.
Yeah, I can understand it. It's
Get
just
kids involved.
it just struck me as unusual. I don't know why. Her fascination with this and involving kids in it.
Yeah, a morbid fascination for sure, where she wants to learn about how plants kill people.
Yeah.
And she wants to prove it to kids.
Yeah.
Look, if you eat this, you'll die. No, I won't. Yeah, you will.
Well, she started going on about aphrodisiacs and stuff like, certain ones of these, like, the most deadly ones are usually really potent aphrodisiacs. And,
that's spider, isn't it?
and it's like, she was talking about a lily, and she was like, during when women were playing like bridge or whatever women did, they would often have one of these flowers in the middle of the table, and they would take some of the pollen and sprinkle it into their tea, and it would make them have like mental hallucinations.
No wonder bridge was popular. I never understood it.
Yeah.
Tripping balls.
Chasing the good old days.
8 of diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.